Some Maryland voters will head to the polls tomorrow for the special primary election to fill the seat of the late Congressman Elijah Cummings.
Cummings' seat has been empty since his sudden passing in October. On the ballot tomorrow, there will be 24 Democrats and 8 Republicans vying for the nominations ahead of April's election.
And WJZ has team coverage. We'll start with Paul Gessler, who has more on how the Democratic candidates hope to distinguish themselves in a crowded field. Paul.
Hi, Denise and Vic. This election spans 3 counties, Baltimore City, Howard County, and Baltimore County, and it is the only race on the ballot. So turnout at the district's 300 polling locations is critical. The shortened campaign to fill Elijah Cummings' seat in Washington culminates in Tuesday's special election. His ties on the Democratic ballot run deep, starting with his widow, Dr. Maya Rockymore Cummings.
Listening carefully, working collaboratively, and pushing to get the job done.
The man Cummings replaced in Congress, Kwesi Mfume, wants voters to send him back to D.C.
In order for Elijah to run 23 years ago, it was a special election. And so in this instance, we're hoping and praying and asking for the votes.
Harry Spikes worked for Cummings for 15 years.
And I want folks to realize that there is no learning curve here for me in this race.
Cummings endorsed several down-ballot candidates throughout the years who are now running for his seat, including Ellicott City physician Dr. Terry Hill, who's been a state delegate the past 5 years.
And bringing those two things together, and I think that's what speaks to the particular moment that we're in.
She says addiction issues would be among her first bills in Washington.
It's all about voter turnout, particularly when we've had such a short run-up to the election.
I'm Michael Higginbotham, and my whole life has been about creating opportunities for people.
Newcomer Michael Higginbotham is one of the few who has run TV ads trying to reach voters. Delegate Talmadge Branch and others are trying to connect with ads on social media, while State Senator Jill Carter points to the state's all-male congressional delegation as a distinguishing factor.
We need a woman, but we need a woman rooted in our community and a woman that we can trust.
And so several of these polling precincts will be at schools. So Baltimore County and Howard County have closed schools tomorrow. Here in Baltimore City, there are some 80 or so schools that are closed, including here at City Springs Elementary Middle School. Also, so as Vic mentioned, there are 8 Republicans running in the special primary election as well. Rachel caught up with some of those candidates today.
Hi, Paul. Good evening. Even though this is a largely Democratic district, some of the Republican candidates we talked to today tell me that they hope that voters look past party affiliation and vote for the person who they think is most qualified. Inside one of 2 campaign headquarters, community activist and longtime 7th District resident Reba Hawkins making one final push before Tuesday's special primary.
I know what the city needs, and I want to ensure that those dollars that are earmarked specifically for the needs of this district are met and actually placed to the areas in which they've been earmarked.
8 Republican candidates are in the race to fill the vacant congressional seat previously held by Congressman Elijah Cummings. And while Democratic candidates are campaigning on the legacy of the late congressman, many Republicans, like James Arnold, someone who has never been elected to public office, says it's time for a change.
I bring a totally different perspective to this campaign. And my perspective simply as a small business owner, I deal with problems every day.
Nonprofit founder Kimberly Klasick already has national recognition. Earlier this year, her social media posts of trash in West Baltimore went viral, catching the attention of President Trump, who criticized the district, calling it a rat and rodent-infested mess.
But I've been talking to people, and a lot of people do want to change. And so I feel like if I'm already there, why not knock on some doors, introduce myself, and say, hey, I think I can offer some change.
Other Republican candidates include Liz Mattori, who was the Republican candidate for Maryland's 2nd congressional district in 2018, William Newton, who ran for this same seat 2 years ago, United States Army veteran Ray Bly, and Baltimore native and active member of the Republican Party, Christopher Anderson. Tomorrow is the special primary election, and then on April 28th is the special general election. And the winner of that election will serve the remaining 8 months of Congressman Elijah Cummings' term. We're live in Baltimore City tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff for WJZ.
All right, thank you, Rachel and Paul. And WJZ is your election connection. Be sure to stay with us as we get the results from the special election primary tomorrow. We will, of course, bring you the latest developments.